When I was a kid, I loved collecting baseball cards. One of my favorite things to do was build my own fantasy roster, a team made up of the best players in the league. It was like creating the ultimate all-star squad. If you're a sports fan, you've probably done something similar. These days, video games even let you create lineups filled with the greatest players of all time. Now, 25 years into the 21st century, The Athletic, a sports media outlet owned by the New York Times, has assembled their own version of that dream team. The Major League Baseball All-Quarter Century team, celebrating the best players from the past 25 years. In this video, we're going to take a deep dive into the roster that Jason Stark and The Athletic came up with. Some of the selections may surprise you, and the players left off the list might be even more surprising. Just to clarify, since this is the All-Quarter Century team, a player must have played during the last 25 years to be eligible. And we're starting this video off with arguably the most controversial pick, left fielder Barry Bonds. While his legacy has been clouded by allegations of steroid use, there's no denying that Bonds is one of the most dominant players in baseball history. Over his 22-season Major League Baseball career, Bonds shattered records that may never be broken. He holds the all-time record for home runs with 762, including a staggering 72 in a single season back in 2001. He won 7 National League MVP awards and was selected to 14 All-Star games, and led the league in walks a record 12 times, amassing an unmatched 2,558 career walks, including 232 in one season. Bonds was also the first player in history to record both 500 home runs and 500 stolen bases. At his peak, Bonds was putting up video game numbers. He was such a feared hitter that teams would intentionally walk him even when bases were loaded. Next is center field, Mike Trout, widely considered one of the most well-rounded players of his generation. A 3-time American League MVP and 11-time All-Star, Trout has already surpassed 350 career home runs and 200 stolen bases. His career OPS sits above 1.0, an elite mark that few players reach. Trout's combination of power, speed, and plate discipline have made him the gold standard for center fielders. Despite playing fewer games than many Hall of Famers, his career wins above replacement ranks among the best in Major League Baseball history. At right field is Aaron Judge. Standing 6'7", Aaron Judge is a towering presence in right field. He burst onto the scene in 2017, winning the American League Rookie of the Year after hitting 52 home runs, a rookie record at the time. In 2022, he smashed 62 home runs, breaking Roger Maris's long-standing American League single-season record. That same year, Judge earned his first American League MVP award, leading the league in home runs, RBIs, runs scored, and slugging percentage. A 5-time All-Star and 3-time Silver Slugger, his home run rate per at-bat is among the highest in baseball history. At first base, it's Albert Pujols. The first baseball video game I ever bought with my own money was MVP Baseball 2004, and Albert Pujols was on the cover. Pujols played 22 seasons in the majors and won 2 World Series championships with the St. Louis Cardinals. He was named National League Rookie of the Year in 2001, made 11 All-Star appearances, and won 3 National League MVP awards. He ranks second all-time in RBIs and is one of only 4 players in history to hit over 700 home runs. At second base, it's Jose Altuve. At just 5'6", Jose Altuve is one of the shortest players in Major League Baseball, but is also one of the most accomplished. He is a 7-time Silver Slugger winner and was named the 2017 American League MVP, the same year he helped lead the Astros to a World Series title. He was also instrumental in their second championship run in 2022. However, Altuve's legacy is complicated by the 2017 sign-stealing scandal, where Astro players used cameras to steal signs and signal pitchers. While it's hard to measure exactly how much this affected outcomes, many believe Altuve was one of the few players who opted not to participate, reportedly asking teammates not to tell him which pitch was coming. At third base, it's Adrian Beltre, who was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2024. Over his career, he recorded more than 3,000 hits, won 5 Golden Glove Awards and 4 Silver Sluggers, and was selected to 4 All-Star games. For shortstop, the Athletics selected one of the most iconic Yankees of all time, Derek Jeter. Nicknamed the Captain, Jeter has helped the Yankees to 5 World Series titles and became one of the most beloved figures in baseball history. Known for his clutch performances, Jeter holds the all-time postseason hits record and ranks 6th on the all-time hits list. Despite his popularity, Jeter's inclusion on this list has drawn the most criticism. Many argue that Alex Rodriguez was the more talented shortstop, but keep in mind that this list focuses on players from the last 25 years, and during much of that time, A-Rod primarily played third base. Let me know in the comments what you think. Was Jeter the right choice for shortstop? For catcher, they went with Yadier Molina, one of the greatest defensive players of all time. By the end of his career, Yadi had recorded more putouts than any catcher in Major League Baseball history. Spending his entire career with the St. Louis Cardinals, Yadi won 9 Gold Gloves, made 10 All-Star appearances, and helped the team win 2 World Series titles. He also threw out over 40% of runners attempting to steal, a remarkable rate. While catchers are often among the weaker hitters in a lineup, Molina still managed over 2,000 hits and 1,000 RBIs in his career. For designated hitter, the Athletics selected David Ortiz. Known affectionately as Big Papi, Ortiz spent most of his career with the Boston Red Sox, helping them break the infamous curse of the Bambino by winning the World Series title in 2004, their first in 86 years. He would go on to lead the Red Sox to 2 more championships and finished his career with over 500 home runs. Still, some argue that the best designated hitter of the last 25 years is actually Shohei Ohtani. At just 30 years old, Ohtani has already won 3 MVP awards and is arguably the most popular player in baseball today. His unique ability to dominate as both a pitcher and hitter sets him apart from any player in modern baseball. For pitching, the Athletic chose 5 starting pitchers, standard for a full rotation. The selections were Justin Verlander, Clayton Kershaw, Roy Halladay, Max Scherzer, and Randy Johnson. Justin Verlander is a 3-time Cy Young Award winner and a former American League MVP. He spent most of his career with the Detroit Tigers before being traded to the Astros in 2017, where he helped them win 2 World Series titles. Clayton Kershaw, who has spent most of his career with the Dodgers, is also a 3-time Cy Young winner and former MVP. He helped the Dodgers win the World Series in 2020 and is widely considered one of the most dominant left-handed pitchers of his era. Roy Halladay won 2 Cy Young Awards 7 years apart and led the league in complete games 7 times. Although he never won a World Series, Halladay's workhorse mentality and pinpoint control made him one of the most respected pitchers of all time. Max Scherzer is another 3-time Cy Young winner. In 2015, he threw 2 no-hitters, including one in which he struck out 17 batters. He's also only one of 3 pitchers in Major League Baseball history to strike out 20 batters in a single game. Randy Johnson, known as the Big Unit, stood an imposing 6'10". He led the Arizona Diamondbacks to a World Series victory over the Yankees in 2001 and won 5 Cy Young Awards during his career. His devastating slider was nearly unhittable for left-handed batters. Johnson threw his first no-hitter in 1990, and at the age of 40 recorded a perfect game in 2004. He ranks 2nd all-time in strikeouts, trailing only Nolan Ryan. And finally, for relief pitcher, the Athletic chose Mariano Rivera, a selection that should surprise no one. Rivera spent his entire career with the Yankees, winning 5 World Series championships and earning a reputation as the most dominant closer in baseball history. He holds the all-time Major League Baseball records for saves and games finished, and he did most of his damage with just one pitch, a devastating cut fastball that shattered bats and baffled hitters. So there you have it, the All-Quarter Century team as selected by The Athletic. Let me know in the comments if you think someone else deserves a spot on this list. Yes, there are strong cases to be made for players like Alex Rodriguez and Shohei Ohtani, but remember this team was based strictly on a player's performance during the first 25 years of the 2000s. That's why players like Greg Maddux or King Griffey Jr., who did play in the 2000s, weren't included because their peak years were mostly in the 90s. Anyway, thank you for watching.